Alright, so a couple weeks ago, the final episode of HBO's The Last of Us premiered. This was one of my most anticipated things of the whole year, and so of course I watched it, and I watched each episode at least 3 times. So today I'm planning on giving you my review, but before I do that, please make sure to subscribe and like button, hit the bell, comment down below. What did you guys think of HBO's The Last of Us? Did it exceed expectations? Did it not exceed expectations? I want to know all what you thought down below and more. And with that said, we are going to get started with my review. Actually, first, I'm going to give you guys some background on my experience with The Last of Us. So I was the person that was like, oh, The Last of Us, the game, I've heard it's very good, let me play it. And I was instantly captured by the story. The whole time I played that game, I absolutely loved it, down to the end where I didn't really think the ending worked. But I just think the game is such a masterpiece of a story and story-wise. And so, of course, when they announced that they were making a show, I was like, I cannot wait for that. And all the trailers looked absolutely phenomenal. Plus, HBO's track record is undeniably good. So this show just had me so hyped for it. And if I'm being honest, I was a bit disappointed by the end of it. Not to say that it wasn't good by any means. I still really like the show. I am going to give it a positive score by the end of it. But there was just something missing from it. We're going to get started first off with the positives. And first off, when the show reaches a halfway point, about episode 4 or 5, that is when Joel and Ellie begin their journey. And when it's focused on the main goal of the Last of Us game, which is 2 people making a journey to find a cure for all humanity, then that really works in and of itself. Another thing here is that the cast is very good, which makes this journey a much more compelling because you have Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, who are both absolutely phenomenal. Pedro is the king of television, no denying that. Sure, it does seem like he's a bit bored with The Mandalorian. It doesn't seem like he's really trying in the episodes I've watched, but he's phenomenal in this show, absolutely stunningly good. Bella Ramsey, I'm not even going to lie to you, I was one of them haters. People were like, Bella Ramsey's not going to be a good Ellie, and I thought the same thing. I was like, she not only looks way too young, but she also just doesn't look the part. Not trying to be rude. I've heard some people say some very rude things. I'm not trying to be them. But I was just like, I don't think she's going to be good. First episode comes, changes my mind instantly. She is absolutely hands down Ellie. Plays the character so perfectly well that I just grew to love her by the end of the show. And that's what the show does pretty well as a whole, is make you care about these people on the journey that they are traveling, and that's when the show really works. Another positive here, the rest of the cast is solid here. Another positive, I really did like some very tense moments. There are some very tense and also very cool moments. The part in episode 5 where we get to see the bloater, bunch of zombies or a bunch of walkers come out from the bottom, and I was just like, whoa, that is awesome. They really built this world very well. Not only does it look hands down phenomenal, but it feels hands down phenomenal. The second episode, when you get into the city, you feel the weight of everything. You feel the danger that they have to be careful, and it is done in a very well way, and I really enjoyed that in this show. And just like the game, you still feel these emotional punches. Every time something happens that's very emotional and dark, it really works here. Sam and Henry, that was the episode that really got me into the show. I was really disappointed in the show. By that episode, I was really into the show. Not only because that's what started the journey, but that's what the most emotional part in the game was, and that's what the most emotional part here was. And then they take things from the game, and they make it and they twist it around so perfectly to where it's got its own unique spin on it, but it doesn't disrespect the game. You're looking at The Last of Us, the part where they're talking in the bedroom, and Joel's like, "You're not my daughter." That's in here, and not only that, but it's so emotional, and you can feel it. You can feel the emotional pack that he punches there, and it really, really, really works. Not only that, but you head into my hands down least favorite part of the game, and that is the finale. I hated the ending of the game because it completely erases what they were all journeying for by Joel just going crazy and saving Ellie, and it doesn't even really feel like they were together or liked each other all that long in the game. And here, I think it works much better. I think the ending for this works much better as you see the emotions on Pedro Pascal's face. You know he can't lose another daughter, and the way that the show portrays it out, I think it is done so much better to where I walked away from the finale, not like the game where I was like, okay, what just happened? I walked away from it like, that's emotional, I'm going to start crying, because it is done very well, very intriguing, in such a great way, and it definitely gets me excited for Season 2. So now that you see, I really also did like the visuals. First time I saw a clicker, I was like, that looks kind of cheap. I don't know if I like it, but I also think it really works. And that's also the world building. The CGI here is great and makes all the clickers look hands down terrifying in the show. We also got to talk about the cold opens for the first 2 episodes. I wish we had more of those throughout the show, because those are done really well. The first time I watched it, I was like, okay, another cold open. Great, I'm not sure what I think of it. But the more the show goes on, I really do think it works there. I really did like the cold opens to just expand the world. Obviously, we've already talked numerous times already in this video about how great the world building was. And a part of that was because of the direction and what they do here. Not only do they take a brand new, not a brand new, but they take the game and they put a pretty big spin on it while also staying the same. I also really think that the show is just works because of the way they're able to build the world and the way that they respect the game while also wanting to do something new with it. And I think that's what really works about the show. Of course, it's not perfect. I did really like it. As you see, I have a ton of positives, a ton of respect for the show. There is a few negatives. First off, obviously, there's definitely not enough infected. Throughout the show, it felt like there was just a few infected. Like, they killed most of the infected because of how not often they were there. The most danger we see is the people, not the infected. And honestly, that's a pretty big negative. I was sitting back towards the end of it, I'm like, where's the infected? This is a show about zombies, and sure, I agree. It's not supposed to be a show about zombies. It's supposed to be a show about characters and the emotional journey they go. But there definitely just needed to be a few more to feel like there was a constant danger threat like there was. There were numerous moments where they could have had more zombies, and sure, I respected it. One of my problems with the video games was it did feel like Joel was getting immortal, fighting all these bad guys and winning every time. But sitting back, thinking about this, I was like, okay, you do need a more constant threat there. And I just felt like no weight was impacted there. Also, heading to the first 3 episodes, the show really wants to shy away from being a show about Joel and Ellie, as it focuses way too much on the other characters. The show really works when it's just Joel and Ellie going on their journey. When the show doesn't work, I was just sitting back like, give us some more Joel and Ellie, because the show decided to focus way too much on other characters going throughout this journey that I just sat back, I was like, okay. Plus, the show is pretty good, it's just not as enjoyable as a video game. I really did enjoy the show, but there felt like something missing from it, and I cannot place my hand on it. The story is done very well, the world building is done very well. I just cannot place my hand on something that's missing. Maybe I was expecting more. Maybe I was expecting more zombies. Maybe I was expecting more action. I didn't get that. But I cannot deny that the story is great. The emotions are great. There's a lot of great things from the show. It just doesn't compare to the video game. And that is why I'm going to give it. Real quick, before I give you my final score, make sure to go down below and comment down below. What did you all think of The Last of Us? I want to know all that. I have a bunch of videos coming up. I plan on reviewing Shazam! Fury of the Gods tomorrow, then a tier list, and a ranking of The Last of Us episodes, and oh my gosh, I got a lot of stuff. I'm very behind. So subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my second channel, More ZMC, if you want to see all that content. I'm going to tell you my final score. A B+. Yes, I did enjoy the show, but I did have some problems with it, and it always felt like something was missing. Every time I sat down and watched a show, I always felt like something was missing. So it'd feel wrong to give it an A, but I still got to give it a B+. Definitely a bit disappointing in a way, but I really did enjoy it, and I really enjoyed what they were able to do for it, and I am excited for Season 2. Alright, thank you for clicking on this video. Make sure I do have all those other videos coming up. I'm very excited to share them with you. So you're going to have to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell. And again, comment down below, what did you guys think of The Last of Us HBO show? I want to know that down below in the comment section. Did you love it or did you hate it? Or were you kind of enjoyed it? There's just some things missing like me. And with that said, subscribe, join the Nerd Army. Peace out.